Only thing with the White Sox, I say they've been coasting into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay has been having to win. It just depends on who gets hot.
The Philadelphia Eagles do have an opportunity.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
No, fuck no.
Oh god, yeah, that would have been warranted.
Paul George to show up again, and they need Reggie Jackson to be the best point guard left standing outside of Trae Young, who's hurt.
Oh, hello, everybody. It is not Kyle Davis's voice kicking it off because he's not the host. I am. He is, however, here. He is to my left on the screen. Technically, maybe on your right. I don't know how you... Maybe it's flipped. I don't know. But this is MV3. We're live. Today is the college football preview. Kyle, what's up?
Not a whole lot, man. Sorry we're running a little bit late, but
A little bit.
It's all right. People
it's still 7:30 something. 7:38, 7:30, whatever. It's 7:30 something. We're here.
Oh yeah.
We're here. We're live.
Good,
yeah, man. You know, no one else wanted to come on. You know, I don't know what Keith's doing over in Arizona or Texas or whatever in the hot butthole of.
Can we talk about how beautiful it's been the last couple days?
Oh, it's been great.
I am not looking forward to tomorrow or next week though. Next week's going to be hot again.
It's also supposed to be like 90 like on like Friday, and then it's supposed to go back, and then it's going to go hot again.
That's fine.
I like sleeping with the windows open. It's been very nice.
Oh, yeah. Very
big
much
fan.
so. I actually had to whip out a sweatshirt this morning, and I was like, I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Yep, I had to whip out sweatpants.
Ooh.
Yep, I feel that.
Ooh.
Yep, my legs.
So I still need to wear shorts because otherwise I'll sweat my ass off.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I work from home and my windows were open, and I was like, "Oh, my legs are cold. Let me put some sweatpants on." So it was all right. By noon, they were off, and we were back to shorts.
Fair enough.
But that's not really why we're here. So
Sorry.
We are going to have our immaculate grid.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, we're going to talk some college, maybe a little. We'll see NFL because we're still a week out, or a week and a day before the first game. Touch on maybe some of that news, but then we got the full college football preview. We're going to pick some winners or predictions for each Power 5, maybe a little non-Power 5 sleeper team, prediction for the playoff, Heisman's, so on and so forth. Yeah, but you have a question that I have no idea what's coming, so...
I do, and I'm curious to see if people want to comment this as well, because this is kind of more of an out there question, but it is college football related. So if money was no object, if you had all the money in the world to take one day, one Saturday, you get to pick the tailgate food, where you are tailgating, what stadium it's at, what fan base is there. And the only caveat is you cannot pick Michigan, and I cannot pick Wisconsin. So I can't pick Randall or Badger fans or the Badgers playing in the game.
I can't pick any. So I can't pick like Michigan, Ohio State in Ohio State.
No, it cannot include the Michigan Wolverines. That's why I said it's going to be a little bit more difficult than you assume.
No, it's not difficult. I think off rip, I would say I'm going to the South. I'm going to an SEC game.
Okay.
Ooh. But where, that would be tough. I think it would be... I have an affinity for Alabama-Auburn. I think that's a good rivalry.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to go... LSU, Alabama.
Oh, I actually like that one a lot.
It would be at. I would be going to LSU. I would want to be. I'm not even going to pay attention to that one. That's. I assumed this degenerate would be here. Hello, Buddha. How are you doing? Good friend. Not good friend, but good person. No, not that either. I can't even say good person. I got nothing nice to say about him. But hello. Chatter. That's what I got. No, he's good. He's good people usually.
I like his.
But yeah.
I like his icon.
Yeah,
Is that Tyson?
Yeah.
Is that Tyson?
It is Punch Out. Yep. It is Punch Out.
I like it.
Food. I think a Southern barbecue would just hit different on game day. I've seen those like TikToks when they're doing like like the rush videos for Alabama or some bullshit.
Mhm.
I think the Southern tailgate rivals like a Wisconsin tailgate. I don't think it overtakes it, but yeah. What about you? What do you got?
So
where
to repeat,
are you going? What are you eating?
So to repeat the question, since we have people trickling in here, the question was: if money is not an object, you can go to any game, any tailgate. So you're tailgating with these fans. I'm eating this food. I have more than one people. We are broadcasting on many different things, not just Twitch. So you pick the food, you pick the fans you're tailgating with, you pick the stadium, and you pick the two teams that are facing off. So I'm going to pick, I'm going to pick a rivalry that's not really a rivalry, but it is at the same time. I'm going to pick Ohio State versus Clemson. So I know it's not. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's different.
Okay.
I'm trying to go on one that's not just.
I'm gonna give you benefit out. I'm curious.
It's going to be Clemson's. What is that? Was that Carolina? Is that one of the Carolinas? South Carolina. So it's in South Carolina. So I'm getting some, and I want some like Carolina barbecue.
Ooh.
And I'd like to just see another team beat Ohio State, because anytime a team beats Ohio State, I'm in a good mood.
Okay,
So
well, that I can agree with. That I'm perfectly fine with.
We both
Butta
share
is
a hate for Ohio State.
Butta is a Boise State fan,
I like that.
but
I like
lives in but he's from California. I don't really get it.
Boise State's the Broncos, right?
Yeah, they're the blue field. They're those.
And then the University of Idaho is the
FCS, to my understanding.
What is that? The
Vandals?
Is it the Vandals?
He's an alumni. He's
Boise State.
Right. Apparently, and he's like a nurse, which
So he had to, so I have to ask him, like, what is it like to actually stare at that blue field in person? Because it hurts my eyes to watch on TV. I enjoy seeing it, but that's got to hurt your eyes when you're actually staring at that field.
I bet he loves it.
It's majestic. That's about the answer I kind of figured I was going to hear. But guys, let us know what your tailgate and food and teams throughout the episode. I'll eventually
also
mention it again.
You didn't say this, but I will say this just because I'm a degenerate. Southern women are a personal favorite of mine.
I am spoken for, sir.
So yeah, you are. That's why I'm throwing it in.
I understand the appeal of Southern women, but like another rivalry that I will mention is incredible, just because their fan bases are insane, going up against each other, is Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
I see some Barstool clips, and Brandon Walker pisses me to no.
So you like Ole Miss more than State?
No, I hate the whole thing. I hate Mississippi.
Fair enough. I just think it's hilarious. Over under 15. Hold on, Corey.
Is that 1.5? That's supposed to be 1.5.
There's got to be 1.5.
1.5.
There.
You're right. 1.5, Corey. I'll give you the over 1.5.
I'll give you 2 wins.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
What is up with this? Speaking of the Bears, what the hell is up with all of this? Like everybody's just hyping up Justin Fields all of a sudden this year. Well, where did this come from? What is telling anybody that he is going to do well this year?
As much as I hate Chris Olave, imagine how much I don't like Justin Fields. I'm a Packer fan. He's a Bear. He went to Ohio State. I'm a Michigan fan. He is the epitome of evil people. So I don't understand it. But
over under for 2,000 yards passing for him, I would probably take the under too.
I had someone argue that he would be at if he threw for 2,000 yards and rushed for 1,000. I'm like, yeah, that's a good year for that's not bad, but because this guy took Justin Fields 4th overall in a draft, And I'm like, okay.
No, the fuck he's not. And I'm not even a Packer fan.
His legs are elite, not his arms. Not his arm. His
He has
legs,
had
he is a great running quarterback, no doubt.
He has had no offensive line or receivers the last year and a half. He is in a position to make a jump. If he doesn't, no excuses. No excuses is correct because he's not going to have a good year. But to T-Bone's point, a good year for him would be 2,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. That would be a good year for him.
And would you rather have that or Derek Carr throwing for 4,100 yards?
I would rather have Derek Carr.
You're totally like you're. I don't know. I don't trust Fields' arm, so I don't think he can throw to beat teams.
Also, like Jalen Hurts, I don't have his numbers from last year in front of me, but Jalen Hurts, I think 3,500 yards passing ish, and I think he was in the realm of 1,000 yards rushing, and all of the touchdowns, and he was an MVP candidate. Why are we? That's where everybody's starting to talk. Is he's that close to Jalen Hurts? He's not close to Jalen Hurts. And the statement everybody made is what would happen if you flip those two players?
I don't think no. I think people are more comparing him to Lamar Jackson,
which would make more sense.
Yeah, but then you make the argument, well, Lamar Jackson won an MVP, so it's like, I'm not even going to entertain you're baiting. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go there.
We don't like cancel culture here.
I actually prefer it, and I welcome it with open arms. But no, I think I see where people are going. Like, he could be Hurts, he could be Lamar Jackson, he could be Josh Allen-esque, Danny Dimes-esque. I think he's closer to Daniel Jones than he is Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. And I love Daniel Jones, so that's not like a dig on him. I'm just saying Daniel Jones could get you 60 yards rushing, and no one would really bat an eye.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Daniel Jones is a better passer, except he likes to fumble the football. But that's not the point.
So he says, did you see Jalen Hurts in his second year in the league? Yeah, that was last year. He ended up going to the Super Bowl. Wait, no.
He was a lot fucking better. No.
Is that third year? Is that third year? He was drafted in 2020. That would have been his third year.
You're the fucking Eagles fan. You tell me.
Third year. Trey Lance taking over as a star. Oh, that's a hot take. That might not. It's a hot take that's not going to happen unless I was watching a video that I forgot who posted it, but it was like a cartoon type deal, and it was Trey Lance and Dak Prescott sitting talking to each other. He was like, "Man, it'll be so." Trey Lance was like, "Oh man, it's going to be so great to sit behind you and possibly get the starting role." He was like, "You're not going to get the starting role. I throw to the other team all the time." And all of a sudden, Mike McCarthy walks in and he was like, "Trey, you might want to get ready sooner than you think."
I don't understand why they traded for him. I understand it's low risk, but
I don't know. I like the move.
If Dak sucks, people are going to be calling for Dak. Oh, put Trey in, and then if he doesn't, it's a whole nother.
This is just another line of the Cowboys wanting to be in the spotlight. And when Dak Prescott starts playing poorly, it just gives everybody to talk more reason about the Cowboys when the Cowboys are just going to end up doing the same thing they do every year and get eliminated in the first or second round of the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, because, I mean, the NFC is so down that they should make the playoffs, but.
This is fair, but now we kind of already jumped around. Now we've kind of previewed or touched on some stuff.
We have to entertain the comments.
I do, 100%. But we have a strict schedule over here.
All right.
So next up, we do. Since we are still talking NFL, we can talk a little immaculate grid for this week.
I'm hyped
so
for it.
I will pull this up. Get it.
He still thinks that he's the only one commenting because he can't see the other people commenting.
He can't see the YouTube.
Yeah. So we are actually live. I think we failed to mention this before we get this started. We are actually live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
I said it all. Don't worry about it. I said it all.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Don't worry about me.
Definitely didn't. You definitely didn't.
But we don't have links in here, buddy. This is the most new one. My guy. And exclamation point YouTube. Thank you. God.
It is MV3 Pod on YouTube. If you care to go look at the YouTube,
Butta, go look at my Instagram. It's on there, bitch.
That is true as well.
Hashtag him. Yep, that's true. That one in there. Okay. You better fucking wipe the board this bottom over here, okay?
I should.
Let's see. Damn. LA Jags.
Okay, so for the people, so for the people listening to the audio, we have on the top.
Oh my god! Yeah, come on, man. I have to host this week, and I'm being very below par. But usually I intro this. Now we're flipping roll, so now you intro this.
Right.
There we go.
All right. On the top, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars and New Orleans Saints and 10-plus sacks in a season since 1999. And those sacks come on the defensive side of the ball. And on the left side, we have the New England Patriots, the LA Rams, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And he referenced I should sweep the bottom because, I mean, if you're watching this live, I am wearing an Eagles hat. I am an Eagles fan.
Yeah. You are an Eagles fan. Judon.
Ooh. That was a good. What is that? Saints, New England?
New England Sacks, maybe?
New England Sacks as well. I think he's going Sacks. I definitely. I
don't know
what let's go. Okay. We obviously have the Rams. Aaron Donald for 10-plus sacks.
We do.
But I don't want to. Yeah, it's an easy one.
Do you know anyone else? I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of some, but
Clay Matthews didn't do it with them, did he?
No, he was bad at that point. Yeah, okay, he's talking sacks. That's what I thought.
Okay, I think that's a save. Ooh. What about? I'm trying to think of.
I got Josh
Bruschi.
Uche.
What about Bruschi?
Maybe, but Josh Uche in the I think was it last year or the year before?
Might have been.
Only know that Michigan player.
That's fine. That's fair.
Just boom.
So now I'm leaning between Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox for the obvious ones.
Oh, yeah, you told me Brandon Graham because Michigan player.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Fletcher Cox would have fallen under that as well.
Hassan Reddick, probably.
Calais Campbell who did Campbell play? I know Jacksonville. Who else did he play for?
I think he's fucking baiting us.
I think he is too. I thought that was Corey for a second.
No. Oh, New England Saints. Tight end great. The one that chased down the pick six, Ben Watson.
Yes.
You remember that guy when he got the pick and he chased the guy down?
Yes.
Yes. That guy played for both.
Did LeGarrette Blount play for the Saints?
I don't know. Did he?
I'm trying to think if LeGarrette Blount played for the Saints.
I guess Ben Watson isn't on here.
Benjamin. Oh my god, I have to.
Yeah, but I typed in Watson.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay. Right. Rams, Saints, Brandon Cooks.
I mean, Brandon Cooks has been so many different teams around the league.
He also played on the Patriots, and he played on the Texans, and he played on everybody.
Yeah.
Jared Cook? Didn't Jared Cook play for the Rams? I know he played for the Saints.
I know he played for the Saints. I don't
know.
Did he play for them or did he play for the Chargers?
I don't know that.
I think it was the Chargers.
Okay.
God,
what about Philly? Let's look at Philly. Oh, Darren Sproles.
For Saints and Philly, yeah.
Yes. Darren!
I knew there was a running back. I just couldn't think of the running back. Oh, that's
okay. That's kind of up.
All right.
I'm a little surprised.
I know.
Oh, I have
got to be recent. Is there? I for some reason McCown was ramping in my head for the Saints Eagles, but I think that was Josh McCown compared to Luke McCown.
One of the McCowns played for one, the other one played for the other. Yeah. I have a good one for the Eagles Jags, and you're gonna laugh why I know this. Okay, he's a former tight end. He was on a reality TV show.
How many times do we have to? How many times are you thinking Tim Tebow?
No, I'm talking Clay Harbor.
Didn't Tim Tebow play for both teams too?
Remember when we said that last time and they didn't count it for the Patriots?
No, they didn't count it for the Eagles because I don't think he was part of the
there. Clay
roster.
Harbor, Bachelorette. Fuck with me.
All right.
Fuck with me.
So let's see.
New England. I feel like New England and Jags has someone like obvious. Blake of the year. This is
Ramsey.
true. That is true.
Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is the obvious one.
For this, right?
Yeah. Because
I'm
he
talking-
started in Jacksonville and he
No, I
went
know
to
that.
LA.
That's just coach gets. I pulled Clay Harbor out my ass. You can suck my balls.
Man, you're pulling everybody on Twitch today, aren't you?
I guess I whatever. Fred Taylor. That's what I'm thinking here. Fred Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay.
Blake Bortles
Or
for
He played for
Rams,
the Rams?
Jags. Rams,
he
Jags.
played for the Rams.
He was backup, maybe third string. I don't know if they would classify it, but he definitely played for them.
All right. Well,
He definitely was he was rostered at that point, but I don't know if it was a preseason he got cut.
you know what's funny? I have someone for Rams Jags that went to our high school.
That went to our high school.
He was a punter.
Oh,
Fat Turk.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's the only NFL player from our high school. My dad was friends with his dad or whatever.
Well, we
Ohio
have quite a
State's the
few
best in the
college.
Big Ten. That guy's getting a little timeout. That's just
Hey. Let him have it. Let him have his wrong opinion. That's fine.
we did, but we
did
won.
win.
We did win. We did win. We weren't pieces of well, I am a piece of shit, but we did win.
So basically, if you didn't
Look at that.
understand the
That's a good one.
concept, I'm assuming you did by the end of it. You have to match up the team on the one side with the team on the other side. You have to find something where they connect. But yes, we did win.
We did.
Yes,
We did win. Look at us.
look at that.
We're winners. Who would have
Wow.
thought?
Well,
Who would have thought?
I don't know about that.
You're good. You're good. John, you can stay. You're cool. You're cool people. You can stay.
For now, just don't say anything stupid.
No, butter. Come on. You're not dumb. You know better. All right.
Oh
Do you
no.
want to dive into some college football right away?
Let's do it. What do you want to start with?
That's a dumb question. You know where I want to start.
Fuck, are we really gonna come off the top with this shit
No.
and fight
No, we
immediately?
won't. No, we won't. Because we'll wait for that when it gets into the college football playoff.
Mhm.
Spoiler alert. Who
I know
have.
who we all know who you're picking.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
All right, what's your first question?
The ACC. Does Clemson and Cade Klubnik do anything good?
Keep sitting. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Give me 1 second.
they need a better IGL, but that's why Nick needs to be IGL. Just gonna let you know about that.
I am disorganized here. Okay, so I have a question for you right off the top. Why is
Yeah.
Florida State ranked so high? What is the high
Notre Dame
highlight
effect.
of them?
Notre Dame effect.
It's got to be. North Carolina's going to be down. I don't think North Carolina is going to be as good as what their ranking shows. Miami, do they still have King? What's his face?
Right,
The
but-
quarterback?
I don't pay attention to fucking Miami.
IGL.
In-game leader. He knows. He's talking stupid.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, let's rattle through the names of the teams. Wake
Of
Forest,
what?
no.
Of the top 25, or are you talking the ACC?
ACC. Wake Forest, no. Virginia Tech, no. Virginia, no. Syracuse, I mean, they were spicy last year, but no. Pitt, they don't have a lot since Kenny Pickett left. I don't see them doing anything. What's up, Diamond? How we doing, buddy? North Carolina could make some noise. They always seem like they're around the top 25, but they never really can break through. NC State, no. Miami, no. Louisville, no. Louisville could be god awful. Georgia Tech, no. Duke, no. It's going to come down to Clemson and Florida State, it looks like. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I personally have Clemson. That's who I think is going to win.
Walk
Not
away.
really a big. It's kind of a cop out. This is actually out of the Power Five. This is the only one that I match with the odds-on favorite. Clemson is the favorite to win the ACC. I'm going to go Clemson. I don't believe in Florida State. I think it's like I said, it's the Notre Dame effect. I think they're just hyped up. they're gonna fall on their face. They might still end up 8-4, 9-3, still not a bad season, but not in terms of like national relevancy. So
I think we get a big eye opener from Florida State week 1, LSU versus Florida State. We'll get a real good grasp on what both teams are, because both teams, it's a top 10 matchup, which is wild to say about LSU and Florida State in 2023. But right now, unless something really insane happens, I agree. I have Clemson winning the ACC, and I think it's comfortably. I think it's probably going to be 2-3 game difference between the two.
All right. Well, so I basically did. I just went in alphabetical order when I was doing, like just my preview stuff for it. So next is I have the Big 12,
which it still includes Oklahoma and Texas.
It does.
Or one last
and
year.
newcomer BYU.
Correct. Which I'm excited for. And Cincinnati.
Yep. So
and
the favorite for the there's actually not bad. There's actually some potentially good teams out in the Big 12.
Oh no, Cincinnati will not be good.
No, I'm not talking about Cincinnati.
Okay.
I'm not on this. I'm off the Cincinnati train. Don't worry about that one. The favorite for the Big 12 is Texas. Personally, yes, since he is on the fall, I 100% agree because their coach always sucked. He still sucks at Wisconsin and will always continue to suck because he's from Ohio State. Do not go back to 2 years ago when I advocated for them being in the college football playoff. Disregard all that. So, fun fact, like I said, like a little spoiler, I do not have Texas winning the Big 12, personally.
Neither do I.
I have Kansas State.
Dang, that's a good pick.
The Kansas State Wildcats, I think, I don't know why. I don't know a ton about Kansas State, but I know enough about Oklahoma. At TCU, I know like the top teams around them, and I think K-State pulls it out. Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner can go fuck off. TCU, I'm not bitter.
Horns down. We are agreeing way too fucking much today so far.
Oh,
thanks, Diamond. Appreciate
Diamond,
you.
we love that.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean,
Have a good
I
stream,
get it,
buddy.
I get it. I just don't know. TCU lost a lot. Granted, I'm not saying this is a bitter Michigan fan.
They lost their starting quarterback, their number one wide receiver. I believe where'd Deuce come from? Or was that K-State? That was K-State. Okay.
Like I just think they hit their absolute max ceiling. Obviously, you go to the national championship, you did pretty darn good.
Who did they be in the first round?
I don't remember. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I just think that it was more of a flash in the pan than a sustained success. Texas, I did flirt with Texas a lot. But I don't want to just be contrarian and just say Kansas State just because I don't want Texas. I think Quinn Ewers is actually a great quarterback. If he doesn't get hurt last year, I think they beat Alabama handily, actually. So
there
I'm
were a
really
lot of
excited.
BS calls in that game too. I remember screaming at the TV when that safety wasn't called
And they play again. What, third week or something? They play
Texas Bama.
Yeah, second week.
Yeah.
Next week, not this first weekend. Next week they play again. They're at Alabama, but I think Texas wins that. I think Texas is in the mix for it, but I think Kansas State ultimately pulls it out personally.
Out of the new additions to the Big 12, which team do you see being ranked at the end of the year? So that your choices are BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF.
Ranked.
I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I'm not saying they're going to win the conference.
I don't think any of them are ranked.
You don't think any of them will?
No,
I think the only one with the opportunity to do so is Houston.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. No, I don't see any of them. I think that it's still a big adjustment. Cincinnati's played on big stages. So is BYU. BYU's played some big games, but still a brand new conference, and the conference is actually pretty solid this year. There's four legit teams that can battle for the conference. So, yeah. What about you? Who are you looking at? Who do you think is going to take it?
So I also do not have Texas winning the conference. I think a team. Also, I'd like to point out, I don't think that any of these teams from the Big 12 are going to be represented in the college football playoff this year. I think it's a more competitive conference.
I agree.
Than
I
years
agree. I have
past.
that as well.
I think it's more. I definitely think it's more competitive with the teams that we mentioned that being added. Granted, it's going to be interesting looking next year when Texas and Oklahoma are no longer in it to see who's going to take the reins as the number one. I actually have. You had Kansas State. I have Boomer Sooner Oklahoma winning, and the only reason I have it is it's Oklahoma. They're going to have a high-powered offense. They're starting to put together a defense that actually resembles something of a defense that's not just Big 12. Baylor is down though. Like, I know Baylor won it a couple years ago, but I think Baylor will be the team to pick it up and start running with it after this year. But this year, I have Oklahoma winning the Big 12 for their send away to the Big 12.
Interesting. All right. Do you think? So what? I'm just looking at the roster. I know isn't it Dylan Gabriel supposed to be the guy?
Yep.
Personal favorite, big time name here, General Booty.
I saw that name and I didn't want to sound like an idiot, but that's one reason why I picked Oklahoma.
You got a General Booty. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking pick that guy. Why? Like, how can I not?
Mm-hmm. So I mean,
I don't think it's a bad pick. Like, we know what they're gonna get. I think they finished third. I think they go behind both K-State and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that's well,
and I mean, Dylan Gabriel's coming off of a pretty good year. He's coming off of over 3,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Like, he played very well, and he's played very well all of the years that he has played for Oklahoma. It's just there's been other quarterbacks in the way.
Yep.
And I personally think Oklahoma puts it together again, and they get the title of Big 12 champions.
All right. So I'm going to skip the Big 10 because we can.
Good choice.
The Pac-12, though, I know it currently has 12. What? I'm counting
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They do.
Well, they actually have 12. Look at that. Yeah. The number matches the name. But they're really at like 4 because everyone is committed to other teams now, including USC and UCLA coming over to the Big 10.
Oregon and Washington coming to the Big 10.
I think the ones that remain are like Washington State,
Oregon State, Stanford,
and Cal, or are they going somewhere? They only have 4.
They only have 4 teams left. I think it's either Arizona or Arizona State as well.
Yeah. So I think the easy. I'll say the favorite. The favorite is obviously USC, reigning Heisman player. Wow, I can't talk. They have the reigning. Later, buddy. Appreciate you stopping by, John. The reigning Heisman winner. So obviously you're going to be picked favorite. I don't like USC. I just don't.
I don't either.
Do
either of us have USC?
No, I don't. No,
I don't.
I have Washington. I'll spoil that. I have the Washington Huskies.
Damn it! I was hoping that was gonna be a spicy pick.
No, it's not. No. You got to give Caleb his respect. I just don't think I've seen USC drop the ball too many times. I think it happens again, whether that's against Washington or Utah or Oregon. The quarterbacks in the Pac-12 are legit. Mm-hmm. You got Bo Nix at Oregon. You got Michael Penix Jr. at Washington.
Best quarterback in that division.
Obviously, you have Caleb Williams. You got Shedeur Sanders at Colorado. Like, you have legit quarterback. Granted, I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is like the next guy. I'm not. Mm-hmm. But like, that defense is going to be tested, and I don't know if I believe in USC's defense or any Pac-12 defense for that matter. Similar to the Big 12 and their kind of flaws. I think the Pac-12 has a little bit better defense, but I think some of the hype gets lost. Just, the whole West Coast bias. Keith is going to love that now because he's on the West Coast.
Let's see if I can still wrangle him.
Yeah, right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, but yeah, I have the Washington Huskies. That is my pick. Yeah, and are you gonna double up on that, or what else? Do you have
just
to say?
because because I don't want to have the same pick as you, I'm going to go a different route because you know
you don't have to.
I have to contradict you.
Hey,
I personally think Washington is going to win the yeah, but I'm going also with a dark horse in Utah this year. Cam Rising is just like his name says, rising.
I didn't even mention him, but yeah, good point.
I think he's like a dark horse to be one of the better quarterbacks in the Pac-12. He's got options to toss the ball around. Like they have, they don't have their stud tight end anymore in Dalton Kincaid. He went to Buffalo. I also think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a dark horse for one of the better tight ends this year in fantasy football and just in general. But they had another receiver in, I can't pronounce his name, Devon Villay.
Or Veely or whatever. Yep.
And I also think Money Parks, good name.
That's just a name pick right there. That is a fucking name pick.
So I mean, he's got options. The running game was very successful last year. I think the defense, I think, is going to have to step up again. Also, if I'm not mistaken, they knocked USC out of the college football playoffs.
They beat them twice.
So I am personally going to contradict you, even though I think Washington is going to win it. I am going to pick Utah just to spite you.
It's fine. It's not a bad pick. I'm not opposed to it. Yeah, I think the Pac-12 is going to be underrated in terms of like entertainment value, because in years past, like their teams fucking sucked.
Oh, 100%.
Like USC was bad, UCLA was bad, like it. But yeah, I think there's gonna actually be some competition there. But next we have arguably the best conference in football. I think they have the best top to bottom conference. I think the Big Ten has the best division, if that's fair. But top down, SEC best conference. You know, they start the season with 6 ranked teams. That's a lot. I think
the Pac-12 ties them. Let me look back. Hang on.
No, Pac-12 has 5.
Okay. Well, it's still, I mean,
it's still a lot.
Pac-12 has the same amount of top 25 teams as the Big Ten.
Yep.
The top end of Pac-12 is really good, but like you said, top to bottom, SEC is hard to top.
So naturally, back-to-back champions, Georgia's going in as the favorite. I think their reign ends. Their reign on top ends.
Alabama, I'm gonna slap you.
LSU Tigers get it done. I think they show the world in 4 days when they beat the shit out of Florida State.
Who are pretenders?
Yes, they have an experienced quarterback. Potential Heisman favorite. Well, not potential. He is a Heisman favorite. Jaden Daniels. They had a great team. I think they put themselves in conversation for the playoff last year. Granted, they just lost too many early games. They returned a lot of players. I easily can see them going into their November 4th game against Alabama undefeated. I think this is LSU's year. I think LSU is going to be on top, not on top of like everything, but I think LSU is going to win the SEC over Georgia.
Here's my thing about Georgia. Now, they're number 1 because of their dominance.
Yeah.
But 2 questions. 1, who the hell's their quarterback this year?
Doesn't matter. They had Stetson Bennett.
I agree. I agree.
It's probably Carson Beck, right?
I would probably say Carson Beck is probably who it's going to be. But, I mean, where is their offense going to... They still have that tight end,
Brock
correct?
Bowers.
Yeah. He's the best tight end in the country right now, in my opinion. And I think he's going to get the same respect that Kyle Pitts did when he came out of college. Although I think Bowers is going to be a better tight end than Kyle Pitts because Kyle Pitts has shit the bed in his NFL career so far. But the defensive factory that is Georgia is still going to be difficult to contend with. But
I'm takes a step back, but
who out of these teams is going to knock off Georgia to not allow them to go number one?
LSU.
UT Martin, Ball State.
You're talking. No, you're talking their actual. Schedule. You're talking their actual schedule.
Yeah. So like my pick is Georgia. I'm going to get that out of the way right now.
Yeah.
They have teams like Auburn, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Florida, Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech. They avoid Alabama. They avoid LSU. They avoid the two toughest opponents, and they should be number one by the end of the year. I don't think they're going to defend their title, but I do have them winning the SEC.
I don't like how you preface that because we might be on the same page, and I don't fucking like it. Okay, yeah.
No, they would face. They would face. Then they would face LSU. In our world, it would be LSU, Georgia in the.
Correct. That's what I have. Yes.
Which it will be a phenomenal game. I do not care what anybody says as long as it's not Alabama. I don't care.
So before we get into the Big Ten, I wanted to just give some love to the non-Power 5 sleeper teams out there. Not like they're going to win their conference. Like we're not going to dive into the non-P5 conferences.
Oh, this is
just
all you.
Yeah. No, I know. Just I wanted to put a non-Power 5 team up there that I think is going to make some noise just a little bit. Okay. Not like, oh my God, they're going to like win anything big or do anything crazy. Why can I not find their team on ESPN? This is so fucking annoying. This is so not user friendly. Oh my God, I love this. Where are you? Here. Nope, still not there. God, are they all the way up top? They are. Here they are. It is from the American Conference, the UTSA Roadrunners.
Always a fun team to watch.
Yep, they play that first game Saturday at Houston. I think that's going to be a good game. Then 3 weeks later, they play at Tennessee. Not saying they're going to win, but they could. I think they could play spoiler a little bit.
Okay.
And they also play Tulane, but I'm not saying like they're going to be great. I think you can see UTSA kind of making a little noise, maybe giving Tennessee a scare. That's all I'm here for. So just shout out University of Texas San Antonio Road Runners.
Okay, is it time for you to potentially try and shit down my throat?
No, I'm not going to do that. I don't need
You have all year to do that, by the way.
Will I do it a little bit now? Yes, of course I will. Now we're going to talk about the Big Ten, our personal favorite.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got to say about the Big Ten, Kyle?
So let's start with who's going to win each side.
Okay.
I think it's Wisconsin's to lose like every year. I think you would agree with that. You have to be honest. This year is Wisconsin's to lose. They have one of the best. I would say second best running back in the Big Ten because I do say, what is that? Corum? Is that Corum? Who's your running back? Your running back?
Corum Edwards.
Yeah. I think Corum is better, but I think Braylon is going to have. I think he's going to have a breakout year because they're going to have the option of the pass this year, which is going to open up.
Who's going to break out?
Braylon, the running back. He's going to top. I believe they are projecting him to top 2,000 yards rushing.
Interesting. Okay, continue. I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
Okay. So for the West, who do you have winning?
The West?
West.
Nebraska.
You're a fucking jackass.
Matt Rule, baby.
Bullshit.
I like Matt Rule.
Give him a couple years. Give him a couple years.
No,
let him get
don't need to.
He needs to. Fickle at least is coming in to a program that already had an established defense, one of the best running backs in the country, and offensive line factory. And they added Tanner Mordecai, who was one of the better passers in the country last year, and he's going to have a better offensive line. excuse me, better offensive line, and he's starting to recruit wide receivers. So this offense of the Badgers of just ground and pound that you laugh at every year. And I do. I have all, no. You have every right to, but I'm like, the Badgers are not going to be the same Badgers that everybody's expecting. Will they run the ball? Yes, because they are built this year to still run the ball. It is Fickell is not going to just feed into what the last 2 head coaches have done at Wisconsin. They're just not.
But how do you know that for sure?
Because why would he? If he took the job, why would he just feed into what they have been doing? Are they going to run the ball? Yes, but I think they're going to run more of a pro-style offense where the run is setting up the pass instead of the run is our offense. And since Russell Wilson, and I don't even want to fucking mention his name because he still irritates my fucking soul because he got all Badger fans' hopes up with an Illinois game and then just shit the bed the rest of his fucking college
my
career.
Favorite quarterback.
Did he transfer somewhere? Where the hell did he go? Florida. He went to Florida. Oh,
right.
Have fun, Florida.
I think he's starting quarterback of Florida.
I believe so. I am curious to see what the fuck they do down in SEC country where he gets eaten alive.
No, he's a good player.
Is he? Is he though?
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah.
Well, they probably have better receivers down there, but
yes, he is.
The Badgers. I think the Badgers will win this year, but I don't think they're going to even sniff or come close to whoever represents the East. Like, and it's under
as per usual.
No, not and sure. Don't get used to it though. I think this is the last year where the Badgers are the laughing stock of whoever. Oh, the Badgers.
It hasn't been that way. It's been even when Badgers made 4 straight, they got shit rolled every time when they made 4 straight. Well, technically, it was technically a Rose Bowl. Because that was the championship or whatever, like that the quote on it's not how it is anymore. It was whatever, but it was the same thing. It was why is Wisconsin here? Oh, because they couldn't actually win the Big Ten against the West or the East, excuse me.
So
there's a very clear tier 1 of Big Ten. They're clearly in tier 2, and the gap is big right now.
This year, yeah,
they're the closest. They're the second closest. I would give Iowa the nod over them.
That's
Iowa.
Iowa doesn't know what offense is.
Cade fucking McNamara. They have a guy who's won the Big Ten East and the Big Ten championship as a whole. I'm just saying
they still don't have anybody to throw to.
They have a quarterback who can throw. Listen, I'm not saying Iowa's going to be this great fucking offensive stalwart. I'm not. But they have a capable quarterback who has won a Big Ten championship. You can't you can't just say, oh, well, their offense is ass still. Are they limited? Yes. Cade McNamara was much more of a pocket passer. That's why Michigan ended up going with JJ last year. We've seen how that's worked out. I get it. I'm just saying Iowa is going to be better offensively than teams are going to give them credit for, just like the long time Iowa can't score 21 points.
They still can't score 21 points.
They have a more capable quarterback. I'm just saying.
Okay, that's fine. You can have a more capable quarterback.
Wisconsin finishes third. Fuck it. Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin.
You're a fucking lunatic. I hope you know I hate you.
Wisconsin
wins the West. You're gonna fucking hate me, but I'm
a two-time Big Ten champ. You can't get in my head.
Well, I understand that. Yeah, but
I'm here to stay.
Fucking.
Say it. Piss me off. Say it. I dare you.
Hang on.
Hold.
Please hold.
Okay. Please hold.
Why is Penn State 7th?
Listen.
Why is Penn State 7th in the fucking country right now?
Here's my thing. Here's my question for these Heismans. Okay, lean in here. Drew Aller is 19 fucking years old. Why is this guy the white savior for Penn State? I don't get it. He is a Heisman favorite not a favorite, but he has plus 2,500 odds to be the Heisman winner, okay? Blake Corum, who was probably the 4th player in the Heisman voting last year, right? He didn't get invited because he didn't get invited. No, because he got hurt the last 3 weeks.
That's right.
So on and so forth. but he was on pace to be there. Blake Corum this year is a plus 5,000. Drew Aller, a freshman quarterback who is 19, has double or is half the odds, or however you want to say it, than Blake Corum, who put himself into the conversation last year as the best, arguably the second best running back in all of college football. I don't understand Penn State's hype without seeing this guy play at all.
I never
don't get
understand
it.
their hype.
They're going to finish third again. However, would I love for them to beat Ohio State? 100%. When I am not a Michigan fan, I am in a Penn State over Ohio State. That's a lie. I don't know. I don't like when they touch kids. I don't like
Penn State.
I don't like because they touch kids. I don't like that part. You take that away, and I love Penn State over Ohio State.
What the fuck?
I'm just saying, but the whole diddling kids thing really puts a bad taste in my mouth.
I think it puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
It put a bad taste in those kids' mouth too.
I didn't want to make the joke.
That's so bad. That is not.
I lobbed that up for you, hoping you were.
I know. I was like, "Ooh, I could take this home, or I'm gonna get canceled and go home."
Well, hopefully we stay on Twitch because we're starting to get some traffic. Finally, getting some traffic on Twitch.
Yikes! But yeah, no, I'm with you. I understand that they could be ranked high, but 7th in the country with a true freshman quarterback. Yikes!
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not.
Oh, sorry, he's not a true freshman. Excuse me, he's not a true freshman. He's a
red shirt freshman.
Thank you. No,
I was just looking at that. Yeah, he played sparingly last year. I think he played in the bowl game.
Okay.
Oh,
sorry,
no.
I misspoke.
No, you're good. I think he's red. He's a red shirt.
Looking at their quarterback room, sophomore. Every other quarterback's a freshman.
Mm-hmm. No, he only threw one pass in that game. From his stats, he is a redshirt freshman. Because
unless he didn't actually redshirt at all, he could be an actual sophomore because he didn't. He played in the bowl game plus 4 games. That might have counted against his redshirt.
Yeah, that's true.
It might have. Regardless, not an experienced guy.
No,
I don't understand it, but I hope the hype is there because. Then I hope the hype is there. But
okay,
okay.
You were looking for my pick, right? You were looking for my pick, right?
Yeah.
So normally I would pick Ohio State, right? That's my normal pick. That's my normal pick year in and year out, right? Shut up. I know. It pains me to say this because Penn State. I want to pick Penn State. I want to see what the hype is. I want to see that Penn State is going to be good. I just don't believe that putting all of your pressure on this, basically a freshman, his first-time starter, coming off of Sean Clifford, who was a very good quarterback, and he now plays for the Green Bay Packers. And he made the final roster, correct?
He's the backup. He
should be, as he should be. And I think if anything were to happen to Jordan Love, I think Sean Clifford would make a great starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I don't think he would.
Wild take. But okay, I hear.
But that's beside the point.
Yeah,
I'll talk Jordan Love next week or maybe later in the pod. But this is college.
Yeah, probably not.
So normally I would pick Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
Why? You want to know why I'm not picking Ohio State? CJ Stroud is no longer there. CJ Stroud was not a phenomenal quarterback at Ohio State anyway, but now they are taking an even bigger step back because of Kyle McCord.
Is he actually? That's not even guaranteed.
No, he is. He was named the starter. Kyle McCord was named the starter, but he is.
It's not. I made this argument on TikTok because anytime I see Barstool or anyone talk about, this situation, they're going to name Kyle McCord, but it could be Devin Brown. Like, here's the thing. Last year, going into the season, and people were saying it's similar to the Michigan quarterback scenario going to last year. That's not the case. Last year, Michigan had an incumbent starter, Cade McNamara, who won the Big Ten flat out and got rolled in the playoffs by Georgia. God forbid. Sorry. They come into this
amount of NFL players on that Georgia defense.
I know. 2 years. I know. Coming into last year, everyone knew JJ McCarthy was the next step for Michigan, and he was. But going into the season, Cade McNamara, you cannot take the ball out of Cade McNamara's hands after winning the playoff or winning the Big Ten and being like, yeah, you're the backup. So Cade McNamara went into the first game of the year as the starter. They split reps for the first 3 weeks. After that, it was like Cade's playing the first game, JJ's playing the second. They're going to split the third, and we'll make the decision. As soon as JJ came in, it was never a doubt. We all knew it was JJ. The difference is their quarterback last year was CJ Stroud. There is no incumbent. There is no one that's already been there that has won anything. Also, just point out, Stroud also won nothing against Michigan, 0-2 as a starter. Not just saying. But you have sophomore Devin Brown, who's been in the system, and you have junior Kyle McCord, who's also been in the system. People have long said it's Kyle McCord because he went to high school with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
And it's to appease Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to catch the ball no matter who the fuck's throwing to. I could throw the fucking ball to that guy. That guy's a fucking stud.
Mm-hmm. He's going to have a hell of an NFL career. I don't care what anybody says.
I have an affinity for the Harrison family. My brother grew up a Colts fan. I got to watch Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne, so on and so forth. I love Marvin Harrison. I cannot, despite going to Ohio State, I will not and cannot hate Marvin Harrison Jr. Guy's a fucking stud, period. That's all nice things I'm going to say about Ohio State.
That's fine.
But they don't have a quarterback that's proven anything.
They have weapons at every other position on the offensive side of the ball, but the biggest problem is quarterback. And being a Wisconsin fan, for as long as I've been a Wisconsin fan, you can have a great offense and a really good defense and not win jack shit.
Yep, they have two great running backs who are healthy, in Travion Henderson and Mayan Williams. They have obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. They still arguably have another top 5, if not top 3 wide receiver in Emeka Egbuka. Like
Julian Fleming's no slouch either. They have 3 really good wide receivers.
Not to mention the class coming in. I can't think that their wide receiver, their position groups are good players. They always have a solid tight end. Usually there it is. I didn't know if he graduated or not. Cade Stover. So it's the quarterback, but
does Herbstreit's kid play at Ohio State right now?
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. Don't give.
I see a Zach Herbstreit. I'm guessing that is.
I believe one of his kids played for Clemson.
Well, that must have hurt him.
I think, but that part I don't know. I don't even know if I think the quarterback is the big question mark, but we've seen Ohio State been able to produce okay quarterbacks year after year. Fields to Stroud, and even prior to that with Pryor, Cardell, Barrett, so on. But their problem is their defense. Their defense was not good last year.
Their defense hasn't been good since what's-his-face got drafted by the Detroit Lions. And he flopped in the NFL. He was a first-round pick.
Corner?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
They haven't been good since then, and since the Bosa brothers have left.
Or
okay, that might be a stretch.
Chase Young.
Yeah, I was going to say that might have been a stretch.
Chase Young. But... and they're like, well, yeah, they're good for Big Ten. They're going to beat the shittier Big Ten teams, yes. Mm-hmm. But you play against a legitimate offense, Michigan, maybe State, Wisconsin's going to be new age. I can't say Wisconsin for sure because I don't know what they're going to look like.
Right, and that's the question mark of Wisconsin. Granted, we know that Wisconsin probably will win a bunch of games. You can't even deny that. You think they're going to end up third.
9.
I would say 9 at max.
9 wouldn't. 10 would be a surprise.
Well, 10 would mean that they beat Ohio State, I think, right? Is there 11 or 12? Is there 11 or 12 in a regular season?
Well, now you're asking the big questions that I should know. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
5,
I'm doing the same thing.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They could they could lose to Iowa and Ohio State. It'd be 12. It'd be 10 and
10
2.
wins. Yeah. And
So,
I think that would be a successful season for a first-year head coach.
personally, I think they go 9 and they end up 9-3. Like I said,
Where's the other loss though? Purdue.
Nebraska.
Oh shit!
I think
that's right.
Nebraska wins it. So I think they beat Minnesota. I think they lose to Iowa. And
Well, Minnesota's a shell of what they were the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Ibrahim
100%.
and Tanner Morgan are now out the door. They don't have Rashad Bateman. They haven't for the last couple of years. I mean, Minnesota won the last year against Wisconsin, but the Badgers basically had given up by that point anyway.
Yeah. So I don't trust Ohio State's defense. I don't trust who's going to play their quarterback. I trust their skill players, but Marvin Harrison ain't taking snaps at quarterback. I don't.
No. TreVeyon Henderson. The only thing I will say about Kyle McCord, if he ends up starting for Ohio State, is that he should have some solid protection and good play action and open receivers because he's going to have a lot of options. And like you said, one of us could go throw the ball to Marvin Harrison and we'll probably have a good completion.
He's up there. He's down there somewhere. Fuck it.
Yeah. And the offensive line isn't terrible at Ohio State. So it's I think Kyle McCord still is going to put up numbers, but they're going to be very empty and hollow numbers because
I don't even know if Kyle McCord's going to be the long-term starter because they're saying they're gonna bide both their times, so one of them doesn't like transfer out or some bullshit. They're playing the whole NIL game, which I get. Michigan basically had to do that before giving the keys to JJ last year. They're like, well, can JJ do this? Let's see it. Yeah, okay, he can. All right, Cade, you can leave. We'll be okay if as long as JJ stays. I get it. Ohio State's. This isn't to say Ohio State's going to be bad, but
they'll be good. But I don't think they go undefeated. I don't think they even sniff undefeated. I think they lose. I don't think they come into Michigan and undefeated. I don't think they come into that Michigan game undefeated
because they play Penn State week 7.
Is there a world where the Badgers could give them a run for their money? Because last year they ran them out of the stadium. They're at Randall this year. I think the Badgers, Ohio State. I think that game's way closer than people.
I'm looking at the Nittany Lions.
Oh my bad.
No, I know. I'm like they're not on the schedule. I was looking at the wrong team.
Ohio State will come in to Michigan with 2. I'm calling 2 losses by the time they get to Michigan.
They could lose to Notre Dame. Notre Dame. I don't love Notre Dame, but Hartman. I like Hartman as quarterback.
Did you watch that game? Did you watch that game on Saturday? It was
Hartman looks like he is a legit quarterback. Like he's got pedigree. It's kind of like when Jack Cohn came over. Like this, you can tell this guy's experienced.
That defense is for real too at Notre Dame.
So you're telling me that they're going to sweep between these 4 teams. They're going to sweep them all. Notre Dame, Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan, Michigan State. They're sweeping all 5 of those?
They'll beat Michigan State. They should beat Wisconsin. I think they lose to Notre Dame and Penn State.
And Michigan. Relax, buddy. But I hear what you're saying. They could easily come into
I wasn't even entertaining. I wasn't even talking about Ohio State, Michigan. I was merely stating that they should come in with 1 or 2 losses, but getting to Michigan. So they could end up with 3 losses on the season, and that would be a travesty for Ohio State fans. Ryan Day would lose his job if they lost 3 games this year.
He should already. Well, I personally love the guy staying because he keeps losing to us, so I'm okay if he stays. I don't care. But yeah, if he goes anything, that's tough. If he loses against Michigan again, he's automatically gone. I don't care what their record is. Not if he's undefeated going into Michigan.
No,
I don't know.
3 games in a row, he's gone. 3 losses to Michigan in a row, he's gone.
I don't know. I would have said the same thing, but we lost for like 20 straight years. So
wait, when was the last time Ohio State was in the playoff? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 3 years ago?
Last year.
How the fuck did they get in last year? Didn't they lose to Michigan?
They did. Yeah, they did. It was Georgia, TCU, Michigan, Ohio State.
Oh yeah, because a bunch of teams fucked up
because USC
lost to Utah. Yeah, that's 100%. Right.
So
Jesus.
They still get in. If they are anything other than undefeated going into Michigan, he can survive losing and making the playoff again but my God, that seat is on fucking fire. And people would be calling to fire Day and promote Brian Hartline as the head coach.
I wish Cisco was listening to this podcast right now, because I have Ohio State, assuming what you say is true, because the matchup favors Michigan this year in Ohio State, Michigan, and I don't think it's as close as
they're at Michigan.
They're at the big house. The quarterbacks
favor Michigan now.
You're not going to tell. I'm not making a fight. Like, normally I would just pick a fight with you just because I can pick a fight with you, but I have no leg to stand on because Kyle McCord is not going to be it.
So even if we go position by position, team against team, quarterbacks, you're going to Michigan. Running backs, yeah, you have Henderson and Williams. You have Corum and Edwards.
I feel like that's a split.
That's wash. I'm going to call it a wash. But
wide receivers go to Ohio State.
100%. Probably the tight end too, but Michigan tight ends are usually no. That's a fucking lie. That's not no. It's Michigan. Michigan has a great tight end.
Oh, I thought you were saying wide receiver. I was like, there is not even a contest for a wide receiver. It's Ohio State. Now let's talk about where the scale really fucking tips, and that's the defensive side of the ball. And it's not close. Michigan runs away with a better defense.
But yeah, no. I'm thinking Colston Loveland for Michigan. Their tight end is better than Stover. They also have a guy from Heartland, Max Bredesen.
Saw that.
He went to Arrowhead. So the wide receiver, I would give Michigan the edge at running back because their offense is more tailored to use them more efficiently than Ohio State's.
If you're giving him an edge, it's like this.
But whose line's better? It's Michigan's not close. Michigan is the best offensive line for the third straight year in college football.
Yeah. And he's going to have more. He's going to have more running lanes too, because of the quarterback, being more of a threat to throw the ball down the field. Where Ohio State,
if you want to say the running backs are a wash and the wide receivers, that's fine. The defense is not close.
No,
the defense brings back how many players that either were inexperienced last year and got experience, or guys who have played a little bit in like sub roles or in the rotation that are now starters. Mike Sanistroll's fucking I fucking love that. Like they always develop defensive linemen really well. We said Josh Uche before. Obviously you have Hutchinson. There's got like Winovich from years ago. They consistently produce. Mozzie Smith got drafted. Like they have consistently defensive linemen that are NFL quality players.
I just thought about something.
Yeah, what's up? Talk to me.
You know how we both have said that Ohio State could come into Michigan with 2 losses?
They could come into 3.
You do realize that would put them at the same record as what we presume Wisconsin will end with.
Yeah.
Do you understand how fast Ryan Day would be out the door if they had the same record and, God forbid, a worse record than Wisconsin?
Tell me this. Say they go in with 2 losses.
Okay.
To Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Michigan.
We do not have a representative of the Big Ten in the college football playoff, which would be absurd, but that is the world it would be. Because
you're saying a 10-2. Well, they would still have to play the Big Ten championship. They could. That's not true. Because if Ohio
that
State
would mean Michigan
9-2,
loses a game somewhere along the way too.
Nope. I'm saying Michigan comes in undefeated. Their schedule's easier.
Michigan would still be representing the Big Ten.
100, because they would be 11-1. And Ohio State would be 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan still goes. They go on, do their thing. Probably still win the Big Ten as a whole.
I misheard.
Is Dave fired?
Yeah.
Is Dave fired if he ends up 10-2 beating Michigan? Not in the college football playoff?
I don't care what his record is, even if they come in undefeated to Michigan and lose to Michigan, end the season with 1 loss at losing to Michigan, Ryan Day should still be fired because just on principle and collegiate integrity
I know,
alone.
But I'm saying, say they are 10-2 after Michigan, beating Michigan. They wouldn't be in the playoffs. They wouldn't be in the Big Ten championship. They would miss the Big Ten. They would miss all postseason football. They'd miss the Big Ten championship. They'd miss the college football playoff, but they beat Michigan at 10-2.
He would keep his job.
You think so?
Yes. I think
All right.
the
Okay.
I
that's
think
fair.
I don't
that's a fair
care what.
question.
Here's what happens. There are two scenarios where Ryan Day gets fired. They lose 3 or more games. 3 or more games.
I think he's out if they lose 2 or more. But okay, fair.
Or a loss to Michigan. I don't care if they're undefeated. If they lose to Michigan,
It's like a same scenario last year.
Yeah.
They both come in undefeated. They lose. They're still in the college football playoff.
Yeah, but look at the losses. Look at the losses.
I know
how bad they've been.
I know, but I'm saying you're still telling me if they are 11-1 and their 1 losses to Michigan and they're in the college football playoff, that he's getting fired? Same scenario as last year.
If he's in the college football playoff, I can't see a world where he gets fired. I understand
that's
what you're trying. I know what your spin zone is trying to
but
do.
I'm saying that was the exact scenario they were in last year, and everyone was calling for his head. Lost to Michigan, still in the playoff.
He shouldn't have been in the playoff.
Yeah, thanks USC.
Even with a USC loss, I still don't believe that Ohio State belonged in that title game or in that playoff. So, granted, they did give Georgia a hell of a run for their money.
But here's the thing. I saw this, and this is the thing I wanted to ask before we go into our playoff prediction.
Okay. Back up.
I fucking hate this guy, Brandon Walker. If you've ever seen him on TikTok for Barstool, I fucking hate this guy. He says, now this can be being biased. I can preface that. Michigan is built to beat Ohio State. Ohio State is built to compete for national championships.
False.
My only problem with that is, okay, then if Ohio State is built to win national championships, then why the fuck are they getting beat by Michigan? Because then if Michigan beats the team built to win national championships, Michigan should be in contention for national championships.
Because
by logic.
Because Ohio State does not run their offense like Big Ten. They do not run their offense as a Big Ten offense. Their defense is not a Big Ten defense, but they can beat Big Ten defenses because they are one of the few teams that can successfully throw the ball on anybody. That is what he means by that statement. Michigan builds their team, like he said, to beat Ohio State. And yes, that is a true statement, but Michigan can compete for a national title, but they just have run up against buzzsaws at the wrong time.
Both can be true, but that doesn't mean Michigan is not competing for national titles. And I'm just like, I think I understood what he's saying, but the way he said it, I'm like,
he worded it.
I don't get that. You can't tell me they're there to compete for national championships when they've gotten steamrolled by Michigan. To win national championships, you got to win all your games, essentially.
That's because Ohio State at this point has set their sights as only wanting to win a national title or bust. Which, granted, the ultimate goal is to win a national title for everybody. That is the goal for every team that gets on that field every single week or every single fall, winter, and into the bowl season. But realistically, there are only a select few amount of teams that are actually realistically at chance until the following couple of years of actually winning a title. Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU. Oklahoma for a while, LSU this year. And that list, and USC. That's your list. Year in and year out, you substitute one team in, and then they disappeared. TCU last year, Oklahoma another year, Washington, Oregon. That's what it is. Yeah. You have your 30 teams. You have either Alabama or Georgia, and sometimes both. Clemson generally,
and Ohio State.
That's your 4 teams that you can interchange respectively. And then normally you mix in one other team that is going to get stomped at some point. TCU got lucky and made it to the championship game. And what happened? They faced an SEC team that is absolutely a different class than TCU.
They got shit on.
I would have rather seen Michigan face Georgia. I would have rather seen damn near any SEC team face Georgia. I would have rather seen Alabama face Georgia than what the fuck we watched in the national championship game last year.
Yeah, because both Ohio State and Georgia and TCU Michigan were both entertaining games.
Correct.
Michigan only lost by 6, but they fought back. It was fucking close. Still hurts, but yeah,
Ohio State gave them a run for their money. Which gave
100%.
Georgia a run for their money. But the fact of the matter is TCU, although they won a playoff game, they didn't belong there. They still didn't belong there, even though
They did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they fucking did. They you can't say that they didn't. They did everything they fucking did.
No,
They won the college football.
I'm not saying what their record showed and what they didn't belong. I'm saying who was on the field made it very obvious that they didn't belong. And I understand why we have the 4 teams and why people are fighting to keep just 4 teams.
Well, this is the last year of 4 teams. So
correct. And I am so ecstatic for 12 teams because you're going to see different teams have the opportunity.
I'm excited for every game.
Every game still will count, but it will not count as much as with a 4-game playoff.
Yeah, 100%. You could see
Because
a
if
team. You could like last year, for example. I would have loved to see an LSU in the playoff or a USC see what they can do, not against Utah. We're gonna get that.
Even Notre Dame.
No, fuck Notre Dame. Fuck Notre Dame.
Okay.
But yes, okay.
You're going to be a big Notre Dame fan on September 23rd, though, when they take on Ohio State.
yes, I. Actually, those are literally 2 of my most hated teams. So I don't know about that. I wish Michigan Notre Dame played like they used to, because that's a great fucking rivalry. I've been to one of that game, a night game at the Big House. Oh my god, it was piss pouring rain. Great fucking game. Michigan rolled them by 45. It was great.
Okay,
but we're talking about
so the question is:
I have my prediction. I have my predictions.
Okay,
I have my 4 teams that I think that I'm going to pick.
Why do I feel like Georgia's not going to be one of these 4 teams?
Oh no, they are. Okay.
Oh, okay.
At the number 1 seed, I have the Michigan Wolverines.
Fuck off. You know that's not going to happen.
I have the number 2, LSU Tigers.
So where is Georgia losing a game?
In the SEC championship to LSU.
Okay,
even if they have a better record.
Go on. I'll shut up now. My bad. Sorry.
No. You're good. You're good. Number 3, the Washington Huskies.
That's a ballsy take.
And number 4,
let me look at
the Georgia Bulldogs.
4. So that's a playoff. That's a playoff without Alabama and without USC and without Clemson.
And Ohio State.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't give a shit about that. Only one Big Ten team's making it this year.
Yep. So here's my thing. Georgia, they are not. So here's my thinking behind it. I think LSU, like I said, wins the SEC. Okay. Even if say LSU is 10-2, I don't know if the schedules can work out this way. I'm just saying, if LSU is 10-1 or 10-2, and Georgia is 11-1, right at the end of going into the playoffs.
Okay.
There's no way they are going to put the SEC championship lower than the other SEC team. Because I think LSU beats Georgia. So even if LSU has a worse record, they beat Georgia, they're going to be the higher seed, correct? Can you vibe with that? If LSU beats them in the college in their SEC championship, they are not going to then be ranked
with what record?
10-2.
10-2 over an
Georgia 11-1.
over a 1-loss Georgia.
But LSU would have beaten Georgia.
That's tough.
I know, but you can't tell me.
It would be a conversation. It would be a conversation.
What would be the argument that Georgia would deserve it over them when they lost to them?
Hold on, let me look at LSU's schedule real quick.
I'm just saying.
No. I will.
But I also have it that way because even if you think it's supposed to be Georgia, LSU, whatever, we saw last year. I don't think they're going to do a rematch of the conference championship in the playoffs. That's why Michigan, Ohio State were separated the way they were. So that's why I think it would be LSU versus Washington, Georgia versus Michigan.
Here's a trap game for you for LSU, and the reason I'm going to shatter LSU making the playoff. So they should steamroll Florida State. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Ole Miss is their next ranked game, and that is almost a month later. They should win that game. Yep. And then November 4th happens, and you have Alabama, LSU, presumably both teams should be top 10, possibly top 5, depending on what shakes out.
They're both top 5 now. So
correct. They
assuming
should.
they
I would
all
assume.
win it.
I would assume one drops out of the top 5, but still in the top 10, even with them being both possibly undefeated at that time. And then I think a trap game happens right before the college football or right before the
A&M?
conference championship. I think A&M is going to be a trap game for LSU because A&M is always a sneaky team that might not be good enough to make the playoff, but they're always going to compete against every team that gets on that fucking field because they always have a really good defense and they always have a somewhat capable offense. I think if they lose to Texas A&M, which is what I personally think is going to happen, I think they might make the SEC championship, but I think the bad taste in the mouth of losing a game right before the SEC championship is going to drop them so far down the standing rankings that they will not be able to make it back into the college football.
I'm just saying, if they are a 2-loss SEC championship game or championship winner, they're in the playoff.
You would need at least 2 more teams with multiple losses. 2 loss, you would be. Who would you be putting if you had a 1-loss Michigan team in? Correct, obvious, right?
Yep.
1-loss Georgia. Are you putting a 2-loss? Yeah. Are you putting an SEC championship winning LSU team with a loss at the very end of the year over a Georgia whose only loss comes in
over?
The
No, that's why I think they both get in.
So that's 1 and 2. That is
you could flip Georgia LSU at 2 and 4. I think they both make it. How they make it, I don't know. They have to be 2 and 4 because Michigan's going undefeated. Not the point, but they're not going to let them. They're not going undefeated. The SEC. Yeah, they are. Michigan. Who's Michigan losing to?
Hold on.
Michigan, we have a cake schedule outside of Penn State and Ohio State.
Fuck, you do have a cake schedule. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
That's the one team I didn't look at their schedule. Fuck. All right, they might come in undefeated.
The road game we have, the trap game is Michigan State, as it always is. We go on the road to Penn State and Happy Valley. Fucking nightmare. But we've rolled. I'm not really concerned.
That's probably the whiteout, too. That's probably the whiteout.
Saquon, no, it's not. It's Penn State versus Ohio State's the whiteout.
Gross.
Yeah, so they waste dumb.
Okay, so you're telling me USC loses multiple games, correct? Yep. Florida State doesn't even belong there. Clemson, let me look at their schedule.
My hot take isn't even Michigan, LSU, or Georgia. It's Washington.
No, I understand that, but I'm picking apart your top 4.
Yeah, I know, but you can't. So
I love to contradict you.
But I need to hear your top 4 when we're done.
Oh, don't worry, I'll get there. So just to recap, you have Michigan 1.
Yep.
LSU 2.
Correct.
Georgia.
No.
Washington 3. Georgia 4.
Yes. Because in my scenario,
if Washington, hold on, let me bring up Washington's schedule one more time because I honestly don't hate the Washington take.
Good, I love it.
I think the only game that is going to be looked at as an automatic, well, not automatic, but a possible loss is USC, and I think that back-to-back USC Utah, if they can
and Oregon State, that's a tough 3.
Oregon State's always tough. I think Washington comes into USC undefeated, and I think that USC matchup is a battle of top 5 teams. Now, mind you, I am putting way too many teams in the top 5. I understand that. But we also know that chaos is going to happen because it happens every year. Now, my chaos factor is that Washington comes into USC ranked in the top 5. I believe USC will be ranked in the top 15 by that point because they will have at least 1 loss on their schedule by the time they face Washington.
And any little wrinkle that you might add, the Pac-12 does not have divisions. It's the top 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a rematch of a USC Washington.
But God, that's a gauntlet of a schedule. If they come out 11-1, they make the playoff. Because I think the Pac-12 has, for this year, because it will no longer look like this next year, I think this is the most competitive the Pac-12 has been in the last decade.
I could see them 11-1 winning their championship game, being 12-1.
God, It's just hearing a
12-1
Pac-12 team,
Pac-12.
12-1, 12-1 Pac-12 team. You cannot ignore and leave them out. But the fact is I don't think 12-1 is a
because that's
possibility
what
for
we-
any
that-
Pac-12 team.
But that is what we were talking about last year. If USC is a 12-1 team going in, do they get in over a one-loss Ohio State? That was the whole conversation. USC, a one-loss Pac-12 champion over a one-loss Big Ten team. Who gets in? And
yeah,
then
but
USC
the difference
fucked up.
is Ohio State was a better team last year. This Ohio State
I
team
get
is
it.
not.
No,
So
I
I
get-
mean,
I get it,
the
but that
parody.
was
It's
the
the parody.
argument. That
Yeah.
was the argument, though. So,
All right,
I-
you want
yeah.
my you want mine
give me your
because
four,
we
in
eventually
order.
got to get out of here
Yeah.
because we're rolling on 9:00. So
Yep.
I think my number one team is, and you disagree with this automatically because I have Georgia
Yes.
going undefeated.
Okay.
The only team that will give them even a run is in the SEC championship game. So they're going to roll into SEC championship undefeated. And I think that defense is just so suffocating and they just keep rebuilding it and they just keep rebuilding it and they become Philadelphia Eagles. And I had to throw that in there. I think number two is going to be, I like your spiciness, but I'm going to take it up a level. I think Washington has the capabilities of going undefeated.
Okay.
I think their offense and defense puts them, and an undefeated Pac-12 team would easily rank 2. I do not think they can eclipse Georgia. So I have them going undefeated in the gauntlet that is the Pac-12.
Okay.
I am smacking around Ohio State, but Michigan is number 3. And I am going to put as my dark horse for number 4. I'm torn between two teams, actually.
Give it to me.
I am torn between Clemson and Notre Dame. I know you hate the Notre Dame take.
I do.
Notre Dame has a very forgiving schedule to have them on the rise, but like they get Ohio State, they get USC, they get Clemson. 3 games that if they win all 3 of those games, you tell me I don't even give a shit if they slip up in a trap game.
It's 3
somewhere.
top 10 teams. That's fucking tough.
So if they win 2 of the 3 and they are a 1-loss team, they make the playoff. If
I'm
they
okay
beat Ohio State and they beat
that who you're
Clemson,
picking?
yes, I'm picking Notre Dame as my 4.
Okay.
Sam Hartman's that good, man, and they have
I
weapons.
don't disagree.
But I think the hot take is definitely Washington from both of us. But
Yeah,
I
I'm kinda
thought
surprised we
I was
both picked that.
I thought
Yeah.
I was going to be out of left field picking Washington, but I'm really fully behind Penix. I think Penix is going to be up for. Oh, this should lead into our next conversation, correct?
And we can go in real quick.
Yeah.
We
Do
go
you
real
have the
quick.
odds up for?
I
Heisman?
do. I have the top 4 favorites.
Okay.
So you have Caleb Williams,
Who
the
won't
odds-on
win?
favorite, plus
He won't
500.
He won't win.
Jaden Daniels, plus 1,000.
Who is that?
Jaden Daniels? Or is that what you're asking?
Yeah. I feel really dumb asking that
LSU.
question.
That's LSU's quarterback.
Yeah. Okay.
Jordan Travis at
Okay.
plus 1,200, who is Florida State's. You have Quinn Ewers, obviously Texas. And then here's just some other notables. Michael Penix Jr. plus 16,000 or 1,600. Bo Nix plus 1,800. And then, as I mentioned before when we were talking about Penn State, Drew Aller plus 2,500.
Makes no sense.
And Blake Corum at plus 5,000. Also makes no sense.
So are we only
But-
picking who's winning, or are we picking who's all being invited? Do you want to just pick a winner right now, and we can revisit this later?
We can do top 3.
All right, top 3. I'll go first this time.
Go ahead.
Caleb Williams will be there, not winning.
Yep.
Michael Penix will be there. I am very deeply thinking that he is going to have that type of year. I think he's going to go lights out at Washington. They have
We really needed someone else because we are literally 2 for 2 together right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
Are you
Okay.
putting You're putting Corum there, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I'm missing something.
And they could have a 4th because sometimes
I
they
like
have
Quinn
4.
Ewers. I like Quinn Ewers. I don't think he's going to, but I think the whole world is going to make this false narrative about him being so great that like if he puts up even
if he stayed healthy, the Texas is much
100%, but he can't stay healthy, and that's ultimately why Texas won't do shit.
Well, we'll see.
Give me some of those names again, because for some reason,
Jaden Daniels, LSU quarterback.
Okay.
Jordan Travis, Florida State quarterback. Quinn Ewers.
So who's more
Michael
likely?
Penix?
Who's more likely to get there, Bo Nix or the Florida State quarterback?
I would say Bo Nix.
I would probably say Bo Nix too. That would
probably
put two Pac-12. That would put two Pac-12.
He was on the border of it last year.
My world. It just clicked in my head that I have 3 Pac-12 quarterbacks going to the Heisman ceremony: Michael Penix, Bo Nix, and Caleb Williams. With Michael Penix taking it home this year.
Oh, let me see. Who would I have as my 4th?
I don't even have a 4th. I should have a 4th.
No, I would. I think I would do Jaden. No, you do. You have Caleb Williams, Penix, Bo Nix, and Quinn.
That's right.
I would do, because of my hype around LSU, I would assume Jaden Daniels is going to play well. I would say Jaden Daniels. And I actually think Michael Penix as well is going to win it, because Blake Corum, they're going to say it's either going to be JJ or Edwards or him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's too much good around him. Caleb Williams, I don't think you're going back to back. Penix, I've liked ever since he was at like Indiana back in the day.
He lit it up at Indiana when they didn't have that many weapons. Now he has.
Oh, weapons. I know. I was at a game. I know versus Michigan. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah, Jaden Daniels. So that's all right.
So
that's what we got. That's our college football. Oh, actually, well, who do you actually have? Or no, we'll get it. We'll get into.
We'll get there.
So we'll go next week of who we think might actually win.
Correct. And I think we're going to be mixing in. Obviously, we're going to talk Wisconsin and Michigan football every single week because we have to. Eventually, we're going to get Keith on here and pick his brain as well. Eventually, when his West Coast timer figures it out.
Whatever. Yeah. But, this has been another great episode of MV3. You can find us at MV3 Pod on all socials, except Twitch, where we are MV3 Gaming. Grown in numbers, grown in engagements, clicks, whatever, you name it, we're here. We'll be back next week for the full NFL preview right before the game. So one day before the official NFL kickoff of Lions. I almost said Bears. It's not Bears. Lions Chiefs. Excuse me.
Well, what a kickoff that would be. Lions Bears. Jesus.
I would watch it, but
I mean,
yeah, we're 1 week out. It's fucking got a lot of. I know we didn't really touch on it, but we got fantasy drafts. Don't send me your fantasy team and what do you think? I don't give a shit about your fantasy team. I only give a shit about my fantasy team.
You can send them to me.
So, send them to Kyle. Okay, send them to Kyle. Don't send it to me. I'll tell you your fucking.
Send them to Keith. That would be hilarious.
At Keith Henschel on Twitter. That would be great.
That would be hilarious. He has no idea why everybody's messaging him.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been another pod of MV3. Also, you can find us not only on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. You can find all the audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
SoundCloud.
There you go. SoundCloud rappers. I forgot.
Throwback.
SoundCloud rappers. Or, hey, if you say, hey, I like this obscure Scandinavian website, let us know. Maybe we can get it up there too. I don't fucking know. We are an international podcast. We're international people of mystery.
German people
men,
like us.
I don't want to gender anyone. Maybe we're not men. I don't know. I can't speak for that. But if I made a comment that might get me canceled. That's fine. If I'm not here next week, it's fine. I might be on suspension. It's okay.
No.
But yeah, that's been another episode.
How the hell am I going to run a podcast? How the hell am I going to run a podcast without you?
Just talk to yourself for an hour and a half. Go ahead.
I'll talk to myself for 20 minutes and get bored. And then just
all right, I'm fucking out.
Bye, guys. All right. Thanks for joining us. Later, guys.
Later,
Have
guys.
a good day.
The only thing with the White Sox, I say, they've been coasting into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay's been having to win. It just depends on who gets hot.
The Philadelphia Eagles do have an opportunity.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say the Atlanta Falcons. No, fuck no.
Oh
Get the fuck
god,
out of
yeah,
here.
that would have been
That would have been
warranted.
Paul George to show up again, and they need Reggie Jackson to be the best point guard left standing outside of Trae Young, who's hurt.